Let me
That's
see.
great. Good evening, town of Walker.
We're here. We're here celebrating. We're very festive. Let's see who's there. We're just getting connect underway here, having just a little party here.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Go into the chat. See if we have some folks here. What's going on? So we have. Go
We
ahead.
have no one here yet.
We have no one here. It's just, but it says 2 people. Is that us? Yeah, I guess that's us. You would think they would count other people. I know. I put it into the story. I just promoted it. I promoted it earlier today. Go.
I just can't wear it.
So, not like
not for an hour.
Not for an hour.
Not for an hour.
Let me see. Let's get in. And let me just make sure that we are here. Waiting for. Oh, I don't want to sign in. I got to switch to my other. Oh. Somehow I get. Come on. We're doing Christmas stuff.
So what's going on, Denise? What's happening?
Not much.
What do we got going on? Anything in the news happening recently that we can share with our audience?
We could have a Christmas celebration because there's a rumor that Christy Nome is going to be let go. Not for the reasons that you think, but because she's allegedly because she's having an affair. Not because she's an incompetent child. You never know.
Don't believe any of it.
Well,
don't believe any of it. Rumors are just that. They're rumors, right? It's pretty funny, right? We heard about Sleepy Joe for 4 years, and then we heard about this idea of if we don't know what's going on, right? But all Trump has managed to do is create The Apprentice, and now we got the Christmas edition of The Apprentice. I mean, that's all it is. This is like Apprentice on steroids. I mean, you really think about it. What did he used to do? He used to get people who accomplished people in a room, right? And he used to send them out, right, to get good content, okay, on like scavenger hunts, right, and like little things, right, and whoever pleased Trump the most got to stay, and whoever didn't produce enough content got fired, right?
That's right.
So what are we seeing? We're just seeing government apprentice. It's just government apprentice.
You're fired.
Right? I mean, the funniest part is the South Park guys didn't get it wrong, right? Like, I gotta get content. I gotta get content. Right? It's God. It's all about content. And if you're not getting enough content, right, then you're gonna get fired.
It's all about the theater. Right. So we've got some folks joining us. Who's here? Who's joined us and come out? And it's just a couple of people. We're just getting started. But
if you join us and you have any questions or any comments or anything like that, please feel free to post them. We would be happy to include you and hear what you have to say.
Yeah,
this your holidays are.
Yeah, this is an open format. It's Christmas Eve. If that's what you want to call it. And we are just having an open forum chat about making the best of the holidays, no matter what is going on.
we're being thankful for the things that we have, and to hope for a better 2026 for all of us. And to talk about some current events. Like, Denise, I understand you got into a heated discussion on Facebook today, and there was some enjoyment around that. Why don't you share with us some of the dumb comments that we could have dumb comment time on Facebook. Dumb comment Facebook time.
Oh,
Right? And we
absolutely.
could spend a few minutes talking about dumb Facebook comment time.
It's just
What happened?
so well. I've mentioned this before. I had Kristen on here a few weeks ago, and we brought up a weird group on Facebook that's allegedly about run by women in our local town, but clearly it's not. No, it's not. It's definitely not. And well, they had a comment about our podcast the other day where we were talking
They
about
watch us. Yay.
Yeah, I know. I thank them. I thank them for subscribing, liking, and sharing. I mean, I had to do that. You know,
we love you two guys. We love you two guys. Keep up the good work. Keep giving us content.
Yes.
We love it.
Yeah, we love it. Exactly. And apparently they were unhappy about, they thought that we were lying or something about the certiorari. I guess they were under the impression that we were claiming that this whole tax certiorari thing was a new situation. And we established within that discussion that it had been around even at the time of Frank Dandanto when he was in his first term.
There were two. So, yeah, you can in a certiorari you can basically go back 3 years. Okay, and say that your assessment was incorrect for those 3 years, and they will look at the situation and then reevaluate and then reassess you, right? So when Frank was leaving office, the town had lost a certiorari to the Galleria, right? And that was for 3 years prior. Okay, and now as Serrano was leaving office, Galleria filed another one.
So okay.
They lost, right? So that was the second one. Right? There was nothing that was lied about. The only thing I said that they're disagreeing with was the process. Was it a public process or wasn't a public process? And here I'm going to tell you, if you don't inform your board, the entire board, okay, then you are keeping it a secret. Okay? And that's sort of what happened was, and this is right. This is exactly, why I was so vocal and so public back in the day, right? Was the idea that they would, the public may look at me as the accountant and say, he knew what he was doing. Why didn't you say something, right? And here's the thing. I did say something. I said something for the better part of my entire 8 years on the board. I had said that they were keeping secrets from me. It became very clear that not only were they keeping secrets from me, but, the attorneys were keeping secrets from me. Everybody was keeping secrets from me and lying to me. And that was made clear. I think that became pretty transparent that they were lying when the town lost its bond rating in 24 and didn't tell anybody, right?
I didn't tell anybody. Yep.
Right. So, and they made a recent claim, right? So the recent claim that I understand you guys did, and I would like to respond to it here because I find it absolutely laughable, was that somehow Frank and myself for 2 years that he was supervisor, right? Like he was only supervisor for 2 years, right? That somehow we dismantled the accounting department and that somehow we were the ones responsible for the late bill pays and stuff like that. Here's what I'm going to tell you. When Frank got into office, the town was 2 years behind. Okay.
to begin with.
Right. It became very clear when Frank took office that I realized we weren't paying bills on time. We actually did, again, a risk assessment review, and we found out that that's exactly what was happening, and it was happening for years prior.
Yeah.
So this idea that it could be put on Frank and me is really laughable, right? Not only that, the accountant who was in charge of the accounting department, they claim did everything right. Not only that, they gave her $300,000 and claimed, right, that she did everything that the board told her to do. Okay? So all I'm going to say is everything that he posted, right, about the late finances, about, the late bill pays, payroll being wrong, all these things. Every single thing that he posted, right, he intended for it to happen that way. In fact, not only him, but the entire board intended to have it happen that way. Think about that. She did nothing wrong. At the end of the day, none of these people in the accounting department, they were all there when Frank left office.
Right.
Right? Like, think about that. The accounting department didn't transition over. Those people were not driven out by Frank. They were driven out by George.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
And we've established that before.
They all quit under George. Okay? So, again, it's you have Frank was trying to right the ship that they broke, and they didn't want it to be fixed. And they still don't want it to be fixed to this day. And it's going to take a long time, and I'm going to tell you years, before you actually dig out from underneath the mess that they created. So I laugh at his comments. They are a freaking joke, and they fly in the face of everything that he said and done.
Well, the other point,
the entire time.
The other point to be made is the fact that they've been in office for 4 years. You didn't fix anything in 4 years. It got worse to the point where we lost the bond rating. So I don't know. Your argument isn't making any sense. But this sort of tete-a-tete went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and Kristen got involved, and really nobody really pays attention to this channel. There are I guess a couple of hundred people that follow it, but they don't engage. But he was calling us out, and he definitely tagged me in his post, and I think he tagged Kristen in the post, which got us involved in the conversation. He wanted to, and notice I'm saying he, right? And it went back and forth, and he made, accusations and bringing up that, I don't know, Frank has been convicted of sexual assault. No, he hasn't. It doesn't exist. But funny that he argued about the certiorari. He was able to go and have, go to the assessor, whoever's the assessor, Lisa, I think is her name, and get all the assessment values for the pyramid thing. And he was also able to get a link to the court case for the certiorari from 2021, not the recent one that you're talking about. He gave me the link to the one from 2021. So there's two that you're talking about. But, excuse me, I got hair in my mouth there. But I'm like, okay, you can do that. You can get all... Sorry. You can get all... I know, I'm knocking the mic around. I'm very animated right now. Very animated. Okay. And you could get that information, but you can't get a single link that shows a conviction of Frank with regard to this sexual harassment.
They refused to release the entire audio clip.
No, I know. Oh, they brought up he brought up the tape.
Right, I know. I've been listening to this nonsense now for 4 years now. Right, it's an hour and a half meeting, and you released 40 seconds of it.
Yeah.
Let's hear the rest of the meeting. Let's hear the rest of it. Like, I'm sick and tired of this crap. If he's so bad, and the meeting lasted for an hour and a half, let's hear an hour and a half of abuse. Let's hear it already. They don't release it because that's not what happened. Okay? Yeah. That isn't what happened. And that's sort of the problem, is everything that has been spewed by this administration, right, here in the town, okay, is a lie.
Yeah.
And people are going to be really shocked. And they were really shocked the first time that Frank spoke up, right? And these guys buried it right, in a claim, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, right, they didn't give a shit about any of the women there. They just wanted to protect themselves. That's all it was them protecting themselves, right? And they have 1 week to go. Bye-bye. And Frank will get in there and he will find everything.
Yeah.
Okay? He will find everything. And I'm sick and tired of this shit.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm sick and tired of all the bullshit lies. I'm sick and tired of everything. Like, grow up already, right? Like, you ran a business and you fucked it up badly. Okay? Yeah. Now, all I can tell people is if you are one of those people that was told to do something bad, right, where you shouldn't have done it, okay, and they forced you to do it, I'm gonna tell you right now, come clean now. Because it'll be better now to come clean than it will be, right, when it's discovered. Okay? And I point out the when, because it will be. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not screwing around. I am not screwing around. Okay? Right? I've certainly had enough. I've had enough of the BS.
I think I think that's where
of everything, the lies, and everything will be discovered in due time. Due time.
Well, here's the thing.
Time is everything.
Here's the thing. So
Hold on. Let me just say this.
Okay.
50 Cent, right? Time is your friend. And that's the one thing I learned from that guy. Time is your friend.
So, well, this is what happened. It went back and forth. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the posts, but in the end, at different points between me and Kristen, we both kind of pointed out that, this is not a women page. This is being run by a man. And this has been, brought up before in this group. And so, we went back and forth. And of course, this person whoever's running this, we have our suspicions. And we finally I finally kind of came out with it. Didn't name any names.
Right.
But I called out that I had a feeling that this was a former or an outgoing council person. And, no response. More back and forth. Oh, Denise endorses a sexual harasser. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so I guess Kristen gets into it with him, and there's just a few more posts. But again, just between like us, there's really like nobody else getting involved in this conversation. I finally just posted a simple statement that said, I find it interesting, and I still do, by the way, that we have called you out as being not a woman and most likely an outgoing council person running that group. And in all of the back and forth, you have yet to deny that.
He has access to too much insider information.
Yeah, but
he does. Listen, he has access to information only a board member would have.
Right.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
He posted it in the conversation.
Right. What I find is interesting is that the town finally came clean on something that this is the second time that the town came clean, but didn't do it through an official statement. Right? Think about it. The bond rating, they still have not even no press release, no statement of the town board, no statement of the supervisor about the bond rating. We heard that from their candidate, their chosen candidate. Okay? He brought out the fact that the town lost its bond rating. Now we're seeing again through this anonymous page, right?
Oh, yeah.
Release the fact that the town lost 2 tax surcharges. Okay, right? Why does that even... why did I have to be the guy to blow the lid on it in the first place? Why didn't you just release a statement saying, hey, this happened?
And that's exactly what I said. I basically said, it is your job. I actually called him out. I said, it is your job being on the board to communicate with the residents. All you did is throw a link up and said, see, this happened in 2021. There it is. It's public. No, people don't know to look for it unless you, the fucking board, tell the people this is what's happening. This is what's happening.
And if he's saying one happened in September, where's that link? Where's that information?
I called him out on that. I said, by the way, you just said yourself that this was that this information, this decision was made on September 9th. You've had what, 3 or 4 town board meetings since then? Not one of them did it mention until last Thursday. And that was Steve, the one and only Democrat on the board who brought it up. So what were you going to do? Wait until after the new year and then just say this is Frank's fault? No.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
No, we're not letting that happen.
They want to listen. This is politics, and they want to smear and slander anybody who opposes them, and it's really funny. Like I'm what, 5'0", right? It's not like I have like a ton of posse around me. I don't bully anybody, right? Like I'm like
Oh yeah, they called you a bully. You're the bully.
I know they call me a bully, and I laugh. And it's like, dude, I'm advocating for policies and procedures. Like if that's fucking bullying,
he's advocating for accounting, for numbers.
Give me a break. I'm advocating for good accounting, for policies and procedures, and for a balanced budget, right? Like, I really don't think that is bullying in any way. And no offense, you not doing that and you allowing money to get stolen and all those other things, yeah, I'm going to fucking call you out because you didn't listen. Okay?
Yeah.
So that isn't bullying. That's actually advocacy, and that is actually being a public servant. That is what a public servant should be. Okay? A public servant shouldn't be hiding and making decisions behind closed doors and doing X, Y, and Z and scrubbing things and making sure that things don't exist and deleting things and shredding things that, and blacking out things, right? Since we're all talking about this stuff, right? Like they shouldn't be blacking out only one name. Right, like redacting. Everybody else's name they released, right? They didn't even redact any of the victims' names. They just redacted like his name, right? Like,
ooh, there's dirt break there. If you want to go into that, there's some.
No, but I'm just saying, like it's all this. Like they're all playing from the same playbook. That's the sad part. It's all the same playbook, and people just gotta be smart enough to say, I'm not going to fall for this shit anymore. Like, I want good governance, right? This isn't about politics. This is about your local money.
Yeah.
This is about your roads, your water, your sewer, right? You may think, oh, great, the building inspector did me a solid, right? But when that building comes collapsing down because they did somebody else a solid and 50 people died, right?
Yeah.
Will you be feeling the same way? Right? Like, there's a reason we have laws, and there's a reason why we do certain things. Like we have to make sure things are done the right way. And you can't have, like, a rogue supervisor, rogue board members, rogue presidents, you can't have people saying, I'll make the law. I am the law.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. That isn't the way. You may feel like in the short term you're going to get a gain, but you're going to lose so much more in the long term. Fight against gerrymandering. How about that?
Yeah.
Put more people who can get into a table and actually have a discussion, and come to compromises, and hire people that are going to advocate for the people. Right?
Hey,
the Republican Party was always for the wealthy. Democratic Party was always for the working class. Not anymore.
They seem to all, well, not all of them, but the progressive ones, they seem to be for the people, but definitely the institutional. I keep saying, if you follow our podcast, if you just wandered in from somewhere and said, hey, there's these weird people from upstate New York that are talking on a podcast about dirt in their town. But we'll also, don't worry, we'll get into national dirt too. I've got some information I learned about today about about Epstein, but I'll get into that later. But anyway, no, yeah. But but we're here. We want to inform the public and keep you guys aware that shit that happens in politics doesn't just happen up at the federal level or at the state government level. It's happening in your backyard, and it's probably been happening longer than you think, because most of the time, none of us know. None of us care. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know when their local elections are. They don't even show, like, what? There's an election? The president's not on.
Here's all I'm going to say. People have been predisposed to this idea, right, that you either have to belong to the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. And I think what we've seen, right, is we've seen more and more people say, I am not with either of these fucking assholes. Okay? Because in every district, right, in every, in almost every congressional district, your unaffiliated voter outnumbers your Republicans and Democrats. They only talk about registered Republicans and Democrats. They don't talk about the unaffiliated. They talk about them as if they're somehow independent, but they're not really. That's not who they talk about when they talk about independent voters. When they talk about independent voters, they talk about conservatives, right? That's what they're talking about. That's the dog whistle.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I say is look at your unaffiliated voters. Mamdani did the right thing. He got into that unaffiliated voter, and they had more people vote in that election, right, than had ever voted before.
There you go.
And it was about the working class. And that's what we need. We need people talking about the working class and working class issues. This isn't socialism. This is talking about workers, right? Yeah. This is talking about us, the people who make this country run on a day-to-day basis. Okay? That's all we're advocating for. All they're advocating for are Democrats and Republicans in Congress, right? And at all these levels, they're only advocating for the wealthy in your community.
Yeah.
The people who have. And if you think you're one of the ones who have because your politicians are giving you special benefits, I guarantee you're not. You're nothing special. You're a pawn to go out there, get them votes so that they can give the big guy, the bigger guy, right, the real break. And I think people need to start being smarter and start looking at the local politicians on up with more scrutiny.
Yeah.
And ask real questions.
Well, yeah, that's really what it is. And I think there's an awakening happening. Seeing it more and more. We're seeing cracks within the mega coalition. We see a lot of infighting, and then I see.
Can we?
Oh, go ahead.
Stop calling it the MAGA anymore. Just call it PETA. Their new name is PETA.
The pedos.
Okay. The pedos, because that's what they are.
The GOP, the guardians of pedophiles.
Right.
The pedophile protection.
Call them what they. Listen, I'm about calling people what they are. He ain't about making America great again. So let's start. Stop calling them that. Let's start calling them the pedos.
Yeah.
And the pedo supporters.
Yeah, that's. I don't know what is for the folks that are watching. We have a few people here. It's weird. They usually don't get here in time for the stream, but they watch it later on. Like, I'll see dozens of views after we've gone off. It's like, which kind of sucks because then you're not here to chat with us and interact and ask questions and tell us what you think, right? Hang on. I just want to plug something into my computer here. So I'm going to lean off camera for a half a second.
Mm-hmm. You're good. I just wanted to make sure, I just was texting the group if anybody had any comments. Love to hear from them.
There we go. My mic is now there. Okay. Yeah. No, I had some so back when I was working in the city, I would bring my own music. I used to back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I was collecting MP3s. Remember when what was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, what was the app where you could take music?
Napster.
Napster. Yeah, and there was a whole bunch of copies of Napster, and I used to use one of those, and I was.
Don't admit to that. The federal government these days.
Yeah, good point.
For every little
good
thing.
Point. Well, it was back years ago. They
doesn't
don't
matter. When your neighbors are willing to turn you in for the stupidest shit.
That's a good
always
point.
Be careful.
Always
be careful.
That's true.
We're on a public podcast.
Good point. Good point. All right. Well,
did you want to play us?
I was going to play some Christmas music.
Did you want to play us some Christmas at Ground Zero by Weird Al Yankovic?
Yeah, I don't have that song. You'd have to play that. Of course you have it.
Of course I have it. No, you can play your music. That's fine.
No, go play it. Go play it because I'm looking for my stuff right now.
Oh, I have to pull it up. That's why.
Because where's my stuff? I have stuff. Where's Holiday? Oh, there it is. Very funny. I have all these. I had to go and find an old portable hard drive and dig that up to find this music that's been sitting on my computer since God knows how long. Not on my computer, but stored. It's come with me to different computers, and some of the music is kind of funny, some of it's not funny. I like comedy holiday songs. Like stuff that's, Merry fucking Christmas. That kind of stuff I like. Let's see. Did you find it? Oh, hey, what happened? Did I disappear? Weird Al. Oh, hey, this is that must have been done.
I cut it.
Yeah. How at the end. How long ago was this?
He did that in the 80s. That was totally 80s.
Yeah, because of course when we talk Ground Zero, it has a completely different meaning. We're thinking, did he do this after 9/11?
No, it was done in the 90s, and it was right around the time when Reagan was talking about I believe it was right around the time when they were doing the SALT treaty. When they were trying to get rid of, strategic missiles and nuclear weapons and all that. And everybody was really afraid of that there was going to be a nuclear holocaust and, and all that kind of stuff. So, Weird Al was just poking some fun like he always does.
Like he always does. Yeah.
I mean, who knew we would get to where we are right now? I mean, it's sort of crazy going from that to where we are. But hey, listen, it's the holidays, and might as well just enjoy it. Enjoy the holidays while you can.
Yeah, I know that there is so much going on. The zone is flooded. They do that purposefully to keep us, distracted and stressed out. But in the end, y'all got to take time for yourselves. Watch a Christmas movie. Watch the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer if you have to. Spend time with your family. Spend time with yourself. Do some meditating. Read a book. And sometimes you just got to decompress. And, there's one thing that with Neil and I, both of us are now engaged. We run a podcast. It's growing. We're still small, but it's growing. And so we engage in a lot of content and other creators in this space, in their content and the news cycle and everything. And, because we want to be informed when we come here and talk to you, or find little things we can carve out and discuss with you from all of the crap that they're doing. And, you realize you need to take a break. But like my mother, she's not she's hooked on that Fox News all day long. And it's like sometimes you just got to shut it off, turn away, watch what
It's not just Fox anymore though.
No, now it's oh my god. And we can now CBS, which by the way I canceled Paramount. I gave them a chance when they gave in when they gave Colbert more time, but I canceled it regarding what happened with 60 Minutes. A absolute a wonderful show. Real hard journalism, real investigative journalism, and they fucking ruined it.
Yeah,
and by the Oh, God,
oh no!
Just want to say one thing though. That piece, that segment that they canned an hour before the show was aired, it's out there. You can download it. I sent you two links.
Yes.
One was the link with the TV. They filmed it watching the TV. Someone in Canada did it, but the other one is an actual clip, like on YouTube. And it's not on YouTube, but it's like a video like that. And I watched it, and it's eye-opening. It's eye-opening.
Anybody who thought, what I find is so disturbing.
Yeah.
Is how people, right, seem outraged by this, right, when we knew that this was going to happen, right? Like, we saw it happen with Colbert, okay?
Yep.
With him getting taken off the air. The editor of 60 Minutes, I don't remember the guy's name, last year, right around the time of the merger, right before I think the merger happened, they ended up killing a story, okay? And he quit. Right? And everybody was like, oh my God, this guy quit. And he quit because of exactly this.
Yeah.
Right? The integrity aspect of this, right, is the damage is done and it's irreparable. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the idea being now anything CBS airs on their news is going to be taken as suspect. Okay?
Yes.
And not only that, it gives legitimacy to this administration, which continues to call out fake news. Right? So now what you have is an organization unwilling to publish factual information, right? Because of propaganda that the administration can turn around and say, see, they're lying to you. Which they are, right? So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is what Republicans are great at, right? Government is bad. Elect me, and you send them in, and they make government worse. So that way, right? So that way the cycle continues, right? Nobody has an intent to make anything better. Not only that, nobody has an intent to give you news.
Yeah.
So what you end up with is going to be garbage in, garbage out. And it's all going to be propaganda. It's all going to be fake, and it's going to lead the public to question things and wonder who's lying and who's telling the truth. And how do you discern that? How do you discern what is reality and what isn't reality?
That is at this point, basically, news is you go with who you want to believe. It's news isn't even it's not based on facts. It's based on opinions.
But how is that news?
It's not. It's not. That's my point.
I would love the public to share with me, right? How do they determine what is factual news versus what is the propaganda? Because I got to tell you, with AI, it's even getting harder for me.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because one thing that people don't seem to realize is when you watch one of those AI generated misinformation campaigns. And then you go to Google, which utilizes AI now, right, to Google that information to see if it's real. Because AI generated that, it then creates, because it now knows that you're looking for it, it now creates a search of the same information that you just saw that was false. So you don't get the factual information. You're getting the information that AI generated, because that's what AI is now looking for, and it takes from AI itself.
Yes. Yep.
So, and that's the one thing people have been talking about is AI lies. And that's how really AI lies, is the fact that anybody can go in, put something into AI, and then that generates the algorithm to publish that information. There are no truth. There is no like searching of truth in that information. There are no fact checkers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. No, in that instance. And we've seen this time and time again. And, I would really be interested in what the public, does as their litmus test. How do they determine? Because you can't trust any of the news stations now. All the news stations have been bought off.
Yeah. Yep. All bought off by billionaires, all consolidating all of the media, and it looks like, who ended up with TikTok? Was that Ellison also? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's or right now has TikTok,
Ellison, right.
And I think that goes. That'll be finalized in January.
Yeah.
And so you're going to see the algorithm change with TikTok. So steering
changed.
Oh,
already changed.
Has
I've already noticed my algorithm has changed. I've noticed other influencers say that theirs has changed. I can tell you, even worse than TikTok, the Facebook algorithm is off the charts now.
Oh yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm honestly now considering leaving Facebook altogether, because all I'm getting now is right-wing propaganda. That's all I get right now is right-wing propaganda.
Yeah, I've been getting that too. So, Knitter02, what I don't understand is how people believe that AI shouldn't be regulated. I don't understand regular people. I think a lot of that might be bullshit that you're seeing if you're seeing that on social media, because I think if you ask the general public, I think we're all in agreement that there needs to be some sort of AI control, some sort of regulations. And we did just last week, it was a week ago, the week before, we did a segment regarding regulations. There was a regulation bill. It was called the RAISE Act, and it was passed by our legislature here in New York State, put before Kathy Hochul to sign, and it had some tighter restrictions on AI.
I thought she signed that.
She had them rewrite it and carve out some of the more restrictive stuff that would have impacted the billionaires, because the billionaires wanted things to be a little easier, and so that's what she wound up signing. She signed a rewrite of it, and so very, very, very disappointed in that, and that was the point of the whole episode that we did, and so you can go back and look at that. But yeah, we need more and more regulations, but of course Trump doesn't want that, because AI can do things faster with regard to surveillance, with regard to feeding lies to us. And now you take a look at Sora and just how good it is at reproducing our images and reproducing other people's images. And we pointed this out with regard to the deep fake copies of well-known individuals right here on this platform on YouTube. So there was the Bobby report. I think that was finally taken down, but it had it had a couple million views before people caught up with it, and it wasn't Robert De Niro, but it was a really good AI generated image of him. And then, of course, they went after Rick Wilson. There were several channels with Rick Wilson, and Rick Wilson is from the Lincoln Project, if you don't know, Lincoln Project, Lincoln Square. And so he's podcasting all the time. And so his voice, his image, his whole stage setup that he has is, I think it's in his home. That's all done for them. And they were able to take that and create manipulated videos. And they could be feeding you different information. Well, that got knocked down, and he took legal action. And then just the other day, I was watching George Conway Tells It All to Sarah Longwell. That's from The Bulwark. And Georgia actually, I guess he's going off, and I think he's going to be running for office or something. So he stopped doing the podcast. That was the last episode. But since I was watching it, the algorithm picked it up and threw me a video of George Conway, and it was so good. It was so convincing that I thought it was real until I watched the eye blinking. It was the eye blinking that was just. It was just kind of. His eyes really weren't moving around. I said, "Oh my God," and I had to read it. Realized it's another one so George Conway has now got to deal with this. So yeah, knowing that they can manipulate what the public with this stuff. It's very scary.
I think one of the things that people have to understand, right? Google created a search engine, okay?
Oh, you got cut off for a second.
Sorry, Google created a search engine, and it was a really good search engine, right? It was so good, right? People would go to Google, they would search for something, and they would immediately get it. And Google looked at their revenues and they said, well, our revenues are plateauing. Why are our revenues plateauing? Okay. And somebody came along and said, you know what? Our search engine is too good. We need to make it a little worse so that way people will have to Google something 2 or 3 times and then they'll be able to view more ads. And if you notice, right, like, I don't know about you, but I notice when I Google something, right, I have to Google something 2 or 3 times, shockingly enough, to find what I am looking for.
Yes.
Okay. And that has become more and more apparent as I use it. Okay, as the years go on, and my belief is this is what they've done. Now imagine AI. Okay, right? It's literally what they're doing. They're trying to find what gets you to target you, right? Yeah. You are nothing more, right, than a commodity to them to be used. Okay, that's it. To extract as much money and exploit your labor, whatever it is, that's all they are trying to do. Okay, so if you don't think AI, right, is going to be used towards that end, you're absolutely insane.
Yeah, you're deluding yourself.
We need a political party that represents the working class in this country. Okay? And I say that because I do not believe that the Democratic or the Republican Party can do that. Okay?
At least not in this in this I don't know whether in this structure, in the way they're put together now. There has to be a Tea Party movement on both sides.
No, I think it really needs to be a different political party. I don't think, at some point in time, you have to decide, can you structurally change, right, something from the inside? And listen, I don't know the guy. I don't, David Hogg, I admire him. I think he has done some absolutely amazing things with his PAC. Right, and spreading the word of democratic socialists, people who are advocating for working class Americans, right? He's done a very good job in putting those in electing those people. but he tried to do it from the inside the Democratic Party. Remember?
Yes.
He was deputy DNC chair. Okay.
Yeah, and they weren't happy with him.
And literally, as soon as he got the job, they fired him.
Yeah.
Right. He only got the job. Right. If you really think about it, he only got the job because of his ability to raise money. He's very good at raising money. Okay. Yeah. And that's the only reason he got the job. Okay. Once they realized like they couldn't control him, they got rid of him. Okay. Wow. If you and I've said this before, if you are not on the inside, you are on the outside. And it is very, very hard to change things from the outside. He may get a candidate here and there, but many Americans are predisposed to this idea, well, if I'm going to go in, I have to either vote for a Democrat or a Republican. And if they aren't a Democrat or a Republican, they're crazy. Okay? That may not be true. Yes, there are a lot of crazies who run as independent candidates, but that may not be true. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I lived in New York City at the time when I think it was Andrew Cuomo ran for his second term in office, right, for governor. And there was like the porn star, there was the rent is too damn high guy, there was it was like the plethora. And I gotta be honest
craziness.
With you, right, I think I think the rent is too damn high guy might have actually been a better option, I mean, Andrew Cuomo didn't give a shit about everyday New Yorkers. He really didn't. Let's be honest, right? He cared about his wealthy donors, and we saw that in his mayor's race. I think,
and it was very revealing that his wealthy donors were the same people that backed the Republican candidate or Republicans in general.
Exactly the point. Thank you.
So
Thank you for sharing that. Yes.
So you were getting a dino.
Maybe, we've been listening to the billionaires who like all they do is pepper us with this garbage, right? To predispose us that we have to be one or the other.
Right.
And I'm here to say you don't have to be one or the other. Maybe your candidate is running as a Republican. Maybe your candidate is running as a Democrat. But understand what if their actions don't match their words, okay, they're probably not your candidate. I've been getting a lot of like Mike Lawler. He's a local congressman in our area. Mike Lawler stuff getting peppered my way, right? And it's like he publishes all these heartwarming stories about how he helps constituents, right? Most of the constituent problems that he's been solving, right, that he's been posting about, are the result of this of Trump and this administration's bullshit, okay, right? And he voted for all that.
Oh yeah.
So we gotta for all that.
We gotta bring back
the fucking guy.
Yeah. We got to bring back the ACA subsidies, but then you voted to strip health care away from Americans. What the fuck? Did you not read that bill?
Right. So, and again, when it's come up, he's agreed with the administration on in every turn. So it's like he wants to have it both ways. He wants to come back here and tell New Yorkers how great he is in helping New Yorkers. Right. This is what I mean. Marjorie Taylor Greene does the same thing. Right. I said she's a boss in her district, but you look at what she does, it really puts her constituents what she's passing is putting her constituents in a position to need her help. Right. Yeah. How about we create situations and make government work so that you don't have to step in and do all this stuff. Right. Yeah. Maybe government should work so that people are less aggravated, right? They may like you, they may vote for you afterwards, but they shouldn't have had to go through that torture in the first place.
Yeah, literally abusing their constituents.
Right. And that's exactly what they're doing. It's creating a cycle of abuse and hero syndrome. Right? I'm going to abuse you. You're going to come to me and ask for help. I'm going to help you. Oh, thank you so much for helping me. Please abuse me again.
The thank you, sir, may I have another. Yeah, that ain't working anymore.
But that's worked for. Listen, that's the reward structure that we've set up as a society. That's why these people continue to get voted in. They get abused, and then all of a sudden the people that voted for them need their help, because those are the people that are directly impacted. They come to you for help. You give them help. Oh, I'm going to vote for you again. You were so helpful to me. Meanwhile, they're the ones that tortured you in the first place.
Yeah. It's a vicious circle, folks. It really is a vicious circle. But good news is coming, and New Year's coming. 2026 is coming.
So Knitter had another comment. George Conway is running for Congress in New York.
Yes.
I saw the same video, but realized it wasn't him because I watched him so much that I noticed he wasn't the same speech.
Yeah, the speech, they didn't have his speech right. But it was amazing how realistic that particular AI avatar looked. It was definitely was better than both the Rick Wilson one, and which was very good, and the Robert De Niro one, which was good, not very good. This one had me for a moment. I had to look for a few seconds, and then I said, let me go look at the description here of this channel. And sure enough, it was like, oh, not really affiliated with George Conway. It's like, but then you named it after the channel after him. But that it's this kind of stuff. If they use these avatars to spread, what sounds like what you want to hear messages, but they really have a nefarious intent. And so they can use AI as a way to control us. So it's important, that so it's important that you're, I thought I was going to sneeze.
That's why I jumped in.
Yeah, it says save you for the sneeze.
I was trying about to save you there, but okay.
Yeah, but it's important that we just remain aware of this kind of stuff, learn how to recognize it, and take a look, especially if it's someone that you follow regularly and they already have an established platform and they're doing really well. They wouldn't have a reason to create a new channel. Right.
So we're coming up on an hour, right? So we're coming to the end of our podcast, our hour podcast. So maybe we should say maybe something that we're thankful for, or what we hope 2026 to be, and maybe some wishful thinking for 2026, and and maybe people can comment later what you're hoping for 2026.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from you about your 2026 resolution, or 2026 resolutions. So Denise, what do you any final thoughts?
2026 anything? Has to be a year of change for the working class, change for us. Hope that maybe our message gets out there and people are hearing it and hearing us, but we need change. We need to change the way we approach politics, and it shouldn't be running our lives the way it is today. It should be something that happens in the background, but make sure that we have our rights in place. It's gonna get rough before it gets better, but I have optimistic thoughts that it will get better. You're laughing at me. I see that. Got to be optimistic, right? What about you?
I'm looking forward, I try to keep things small, and listen, there's a lot that I can't change in the world, even if I want to, including minds. I do hope that, like you, that we reach some people, maybe change some minds on our podcast, and we can engage people,
Yeah.
and maybe get their point of view about the craziness that goes on. But really, I'm a local guy, and I really want to fix the things that were broken.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's a psychosis of mine, that I just want to fix things that are broken. But I'm looking forward, to helping and advising in fixing what was broken here in town, in the hopes that we can create a better community for all of us. And maybe, and this is really wishful thinking, I would really like to have some of that community spirit back,
Yeah.
where we can shed some of this partisan divide, okay? And we recognize that we are all members of our community. It doesn't matter whether are an immigrant to this community, or whether you were born here or whatever, that there's a place for you, that
Yeah.
we love you, and we want you here. We want everybody here, and we want everybody to be a part of this community together. Um, a teacher once told me, we're a salad, we're not a melting pot. We have to enjoy every piece of that salad, no matter what it is. I mean, listen, I may not like artichokes in my in my salad, but they're there,
Yeah.
and it's we just have to learn to get along with each other, and remember that we're a community, and to come together like that. So that's my hope, is that we can get back to that, and
Yeah.
and not allow this hateful, spiteful, cruel individual and the people he surrounded himself with continue to divide who we are locally.
All right. Okay. So on that note, that was pretty heartfelt, and brought a tear to my eye. No, stop. But no, seriously. I'm just gonna stay optimistic, and folks, just remember, take some time, take some time to for yourself. Again, spend time with family. This is the time to do that. I'm whether you're whether you whether you're Christian or non-Christian or Jewish, or Happy Hanukkah, by the way, Happy Kwanzaa. Besides Merry Christmas, it's definitely a time of the year that people get together and do that. Even get together with the people that annoy you. Try to tolerate them. I know it's not easy, but do it. Just just try. You know. Take away Uncle Barty's beer, because he gets to be real cranky, and messes up the TV and says some weird shit. Just be tolerant, and just remember that we'll be here. Um, we'll be here next week. What do you think? We'll have a New Year's party. Or you want to ski?
Sure.
All right, so
If
we'll
I'm
be
around, sure.
so we'll be here next Tuesday. That would be, my God,
Yeah.
the 30th. Holy cow!
Yeah.
So we're gonna
We should
be
be
here.
here.
Yeah, we'll be here live next Tuesday, the 30th, for New Year's celebration, and try not to drink. Okay, we'll drink maybe a little bit. We didn't bring any Fa La La juice. Did you make Coquito?
Of course I did.
Yeah. Is that what you're drinking?
No, I'm not. It's not what I'm drinking now, but I did.
Okay.
I'll bring some to you. I'll bring some to you.
Yeah.
I'll bring some to you tomorrow. If you're around tomorrow, I'll bring some to you.
I'll be around. I'll be around. I'll probably just have to run to the store for all the last minute things that you forget for your dinner.
Right.
Hey, who wants to see my I'll record my recipe for a standing rib roast. I do it every year, and I post a picture and people are like, how do you make it? So maybe what I'll do is I'll do a little recording, how I put it together, what I roasted at, and a Yorkshire pudding. I do that too. And I do that for the holidays. All right. So in the meantime, go ahead. What are you making?
Just so everybody knows, my tradition, right, is the tradition of my people, right, and it'll be Chinese food.
Yes, Chinese. Hey, Kristen, there you go. What's up, Kristen? You should have been here. We're just getting ready to sign off. But yes,
we're just signing off.
We're just signing off. She just saw you're late. Will you be here next week? We'll have you on. We'll have you on live with us, and the three of us can have a party for the
New Year's party on the.
We'll do a New Year's party. So anyway, thanks so much, guys. We will see you soon. Oh, sorry, she's texting me as well as posting in the comments. And we will see you soon. Definitely, please make sure. Oops, wait a minute. Cancel. Whoops. Accidentally hit the leave
and
key.
Subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe. And
click the bell.
Click the bell. And remember, we'll be here next Tuesday, and we'll be putting out content between now and next Tuesday. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and whatever holiday you celebrate. If it's not Christmas, then happy holidays to you.
That's it.
And thank you for joining us and being a part of our family here on TOWTalk Podcast.
Thank you. All right. We'll see you soon, guys. Love you. All right. Take care.
Peace out.